Okay, today I am making heli jelly, which is the most amazing thing in the whole world, and it's a habanero jalapeno pepper jelly, and it is so good. And we're starting out with 5 cups of granulated sugar, and to that we're adding 2.5 cups of diced chopped jalapenos. You can do them as big or as little as you want. I like to do mine a little chunkier so that the jelly comes out more like a relish, because we use it as like sweet and sour sauce and all kinds of stuff. And this is going to be 1 cup of habaneros, and I use the membrane and the seeds. I put it all in there. And then there's 1 teaspoon of butter, 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And we're going to mix all this up till it's all good and mixed up. And then we're going to turn the burner on to medium-high. And get this stuff cooking. Now, this is an old-fashioned way of doing it, as I'm not using pectin or surdo or anything. I'm just going to cook it longer and boil it. Okay, and once this starts to come to like a simmer, almost to a boil, throw a thermometer in there. You're going to want to get your temperature to about 230 degrees. And I also do the cold plate test, where you put a little spoonful on there and run your finger through it. And if it stays separate, it's done. I'll be doing that and my thermometer today.
Altitude.
Yeah, we're at a higher altitude. So you need to, if you're at a higher altitude, you need to take away 1 degree for every 500 feet above sea level that you are. Okay. Once you get it to a rolling boil, you're going to want to turn it down to medium-low. And stirring every once in a while. You're going to want to bring it up to 230 degrees. It's going to really be bubbling and steaming, and I don't know. Some people might think it smells good with the apple cider vinegar. I don't really think it smells very good. You can use white vinegar, or you could just leave it out, really, if you wanted to. I like the little extra tang it gives it, but I mean, I'm sure it'd be just as good without it. And this is going to take a while, probably like 15-20 minutes to get it up to the temperature required. So it takes a little longer than making jam with pectin or with surdo, but it comes out just as good. Well, that is simmering and getting up to the right temperature. I boiled a pot of water, and when it came to a rolling boil, I turned it off and put my jars and lids in there to soak until the jam is done, and then we'll pull them out.
It just looks weird.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and now, as it's getting close to your 230 degrees, you take a plate that you've had in the freezer, and you take a little scoop of this, and you put it on there. Then you put it back in the freezer for a minute. And see, the bubbles start to look a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pull your finger through it, and if it stays apart, then it's ready. And it is staying apart. I like mine a little thicker though, so I'm gonna give it a few more minutes.
It's supposed to be apart for like 10 seconds, I think. But there's different things.
Still recording?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we're going to try again. It's been a couple minutes. Do this, put it back in the freezer for a minute and see how we like it. Hmm?
Switch on there.
Alright, so now I'm going to test it again. Yep, it's about what we're looking for. So, we'll turn it off. Now I'm pulling out my jars from this very hot water and putting them upside down on a towel. Alright, and then when you have your jars ready, fresh out of the hot water, ladle it in until it is about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch from the lid. Alright. Then you're going to want to wipe the sides. Ow, and it's hot, so be careful. And throw your lid on real tight. Okay, stop it. And then, once all your jars are filled, I like to plop them in this hot water that I was soaking my jars in for about 10 minutes. Alright, and then after about 10 minutes, you're going to take each jar out and put it on the counter to cool off or do its thing or whatever it's going to can.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha. And then you just let them sit on the counter and cool off. And then as they cool off, they will seal. And once it seals, it's good for about 6 months or so. And if it doesn't seal, it's probably, I'd put it in the fridge. And it's good for like a month. And it's really good, so it'll probably be gone before it could possibly go bad.